We unpack President Cyril Ramaphosa's handling of the COVID-19 related corruption. I'm joined by IFP Chief Whip Narend Singh. Narend, good evening and thank you very much for your time tonight. We didn't know about the pandemic, that it would hit. Of course, we were all taken by surprise. But one thing that we did know, even at the time when relief and packages, food parcels were being distributed, was that there is corruption in South Africa that has been plaguing us for a while. Did we do enough in terms of hedging ourselves against what would be a predictable situation in terms of how procurement would go?
Good evening to you, good evening to your viewers, and Zamanda, thank you. In fact, when you were reading out the numbers there earlier on, I thought you were going to do what a former president did in terms of numbers, but you came right afterwards. So, good. Did we do enough? Did we do enough? No. I think the audit reports, the special audit that has been done by our Auditor General, Timi Makwetu, and his team, whose results were announced today and whom we as a committee on the Auditor General are interrogating on Friday, would reveal that the levels of corruption during this pandemic was so great that it's alarming to think that people would, suppliers and of goods and government officials would put their hands in the cookie jar to the extent that they did. It's absolutely shocking and disgraceful that that could have happened.
Now in June or July or so, when the president was addressing the nation during the state of disaster, he mentioned especially that the Auditor General adopting special measures to safeguard the funds where special audits would have been conducted. Should then a president not be given a mark for that intervention, including, of course, the signing of the SIU to investigate and all the other measures that the president announced, particularly from Treasury, to prevent corruption during emergency procurement?
Absolutely, yes. I'm not going to give a mark, but I must say that there have been interventions, like some of which you have mentioned, that are positive interventions. It's hindsight is the best side. We always say, things could have been done better, but somebody's got to take a decision at a particular point in time, and he decided to engage the Office of the Auditor General. The other measures are in place, but notwithstanding that, there have been these corrupt officials. I have the report in front of a copy of the report in front of me here, and to see the kind of prices that were being paid for some of these goods is just shocking that it could have happened. And I think your program is about flattening the curve. Well, I think long after the COVID curve has been flattened, we'll still be dealing with corruption issues unless we are decisive in terms of consequence management. Yeah. And for that to happen, I think it requires all of us, including law enforcement agencies. It requires the president to act swiftly, fairly, without fear or favor against his own son, comrade, brother, or whoever who might have committed corruption.
Let's talk about that collaborative effort between the law enforcement agencies. A collaborative coordinated center was set up at a FIC. That's where it would be centralized to strengthen the collective efforts among the law enforcement agencies. We know that the SIU is investigating about 5 billion rands. It's probably a little bit more now in COVID-19 tenders. We know that a couple of reports have already been issued and been given to the president, because he said they need to report to him every 6 weeks. Yet we have not seen any arrests, and many people are worried about that, to say, well, there is no speedy accountability, particularly with those who are corrupt.
Absolutely. The wheels of justice turn very, very slowly. But in this instance, I was encouraged by the president last week, where he did say that there's engagement with the Minister of Justice to set up special courts. And I think the Auditor General's report will have some issues that where the law enforcement agencies, particularly the prosecuting authority, can take immediate action against those individuals that had their hands in the cookie jar. But having said that, we've got these agencies, we've got the NPA, we've got the SIU. Unless they are capacitated with human resources and financial resources to deal with these matters and with expertise to deal with these matters swiftly, it's going to still be a problem. And it is for that reason that as the IFP, we've been calling for the establishment of a Chapter 9 institution, like the institution of the Office of the Public Protector, called an Integrity Commission, that should be made up of independent individuals who will have the power, to prosecute and make recommendations and take action against those that are found guilty of crimes, particularly corruption. And the president did say, well, he thought it was a good idea, but he felt that the existing agencies would be able to deal with the matters. I don't believe, as the IFP, we don't believe that the existing agencies will be, impartial in carrying out the execution and have the wherewithal to do so.
It's not only that. I mean, Labour has also, I think, the leader of is it NUMSA, Irvin Jim, he's also made a similar call to say, let there be an independent kind of body that investigates all these claims of corruption. But civil society has also lamented the fact that President Cyril Ramaphosa barricaded himself with his ministers and his officials in handling this pandemic. It was a one-party affair. Civil society was left out. Opposition parties were left out. How does the IFP feel about that?
Well, in the beginning, when the pandemic first hit our shores, there was consultation between the Office of the President, leaders of political parties. But as the levels were, downgraded or upgraded, whichever way you want to look at it, from level 5 downwards, I felt that there wasn't as much consultation, and I think the criticisms are well-founded, that it became a one-party, one government issue without the necessary buy-in from other political parties and from civil society in general. And I think that has been a shortcoming, because when we got into this process, we committed ourselves as a political party, in particular Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, our leader in the National Parliament, committed ourselves to working collectively to ensure that firstly we deal with saving lives, and then we look to how we're going to protect livelihoods. But unfortunately, something went wrong along the way, and that buy-in was not sought as we moved along.